All right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the Aftermarket Recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks for spending time out of your day to join me today and every afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the G.A.R Capital YouTube channel. Let's get to work. No webcam today, working from the office. Webcam isn't the best, so I'm using my AirPods at the office to make this video. Let's go ahead and get started. The Dow climbed up 162 points, NASDAQ up 1.36%, S&P spot 39.98, 2 points less than 4,000. 4017 is the gap fill on SPX. Remember, that's spot SPX, not E-mini futures. VIX down 3.22% at 2311. We talked about VIX this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Again, didn't break our alert to the downside of 2287. Looks like so far the buying mood or the short squeeze mood is still in effect. As you could see, look at the names that were up today. Tesla, Riot, Mara, Snap. Snap fell after hours. Shopify, Palantir, Netflix, PayPal, Carvana, Peloton, Boeing, AMD, ARKK. Again, these are all names that are, other than probably Boeing and AMD, high betas. Usually move higher than the market and a little more volatile. So again, you can tell by those stocks moving higher, the risk on mood is there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the VIX. Again, broke below the 200-day on the daily. Again, you know how I feel about indexes and moving averages. It's a little tough to come by, but again, 2287 seems to be a good level. Below 20 is usually the bull sign, where everything is kind of in track. The bull market is getting some legs under it. Could we get there? Absolutely. But we'll go over S&P here in a second and see that I don't think we may go a little higher. We may have a little bit of a pullback. Equal weight S&P up 0.78%. Equal weight S&P up 0.78%. Wow, tongue twister. S&P SPY up 1.02% today. 398.79. I still have those 400 calls. We are now up 22% on them. Dollar index down 0.47% today. Pretty simple math equation that we've had lately. Dollar goes down, stocks go up. Dollar goes up, stocks go down. We are still holding that 20-day moving average. It's a good key trend indicator, at least for the short term. If we can break below 106.41, 105 would be next. And then stocks can take that next leg higher. 10-year yield, treasury yields did fall today as bonds were bid today. We had a strong, I believe, I think it was a 10-year, or no, it's a 12-year bond note. Bond auction that we had today. Better than expected in terms of demand. Let me get the exact number on those bonds that were sold today in auction. What do we got? It was a news day today. A lot of news were posted today. Since the market was actually pretty quiet, a lot of it was done today really in the morning. Tesla was really the whole market today. 10-year Treasury protected inflation protected securities. They drew 0.63%. So again, the demand for bonds went higher today as TLT was also bid. Remember, that's the 20-year bond ETF. That was up 1.73%. High yield credit up 1.18%. Again, kind of moving with the NASDAQ. Investment grade bonds up 1.37%. Remember, they were red yesterday. Small caps up 0.36%. Russell 2000 futures. Crude oil took a hit. That was kind of holding back the Dow today. Energy being the laggard. Crude oil down 3.3% at 96.58. Let's go and bring up that chart together. Kind of the same deal. Again, kind of bouncing off that 200-day moving average now on the daily. That's right around 93.88. So we want to keep an eye on the level, see if we break that, maybe get an opportunity to buy some more oil exposure. Gasoline futures continued to slide, but then did bounce higher on the day as we tapped 288 a gallon. We bounced off that 200-day and off that Fibonacci level. So you could see it kind of clean bounce, pretty close to it. This is just open interest. You can just take this out. But in terms of the Fibonacci retracement, pretty darn close at 288.21. Does that mean gasoline will bounce? Well, there's a gap to fill, so I expect, if the dollar continues to weaken, at least gasoline should bounce back. But again, good news for those, looking for relief at the pump. Gold futures were up today, 1%. Again, pretty clean bounce here. As you can see in that trend line, 1672 now above 1717. Might be worth a shot to play upside, maybe futures to 1771, especially if the dollar stays weak. So again, if the dollar can at least break that level we were talking about earlier today, I want to say that was around 106.41. I would probably want to go long gold there. That would probably be a good level to take a look at. Let's go and recheck that gold play. It would target around 1771. Maybe we can squeeze about 50 points off gold. That's not bad. Let's keep it moving here. Bitcoin up 2.1, down 2.19%, 23,175. Ethereum up 2.35%. Copper futures were down 0.57% today. Big mover today was Tesla. Nick was talking about that with our team yesterday's video call. I talked about Tesla today. That break of 770 was the level you were looking for. Was it risky? Yes. Did I expect us to ignite 9.78% to the upside? Again, after a really good week, it's very difficult to kind of look at other trades moving forward, especially something as volatile as Tesla. But if you did catch it, according to Nick DiGiacomo, our VP here, note over the evening, and of course mine on morning note, you probably caught it today. So well done. You have a little more room to the upside right around 827.98. If we can hold above on S&P futures, really above this trend line here, 39, I would say now as we're getting a little closer here to 39.40, we bounced off that. I talked about that on Twitter today. As long as we can kind of hold 39.80, 39.75 overnight, I think Tesla does continue to go higher. Would you want to trade it same day expiry? That's really up to you. That's really risky. But again, your target is right around 828. Those contracts did soar. We do have a little more room to the upside if you're looking at Tesla. 900 is a possibility. Obviously, if we continue to really squeeze higher, you could see a gap to fill right around 862. So you do have on the weekly, you do have the 20-day. You also have the 100-day on the daily. You have a couple of gaps to fill as well. No, that's not a gap there. My apologies. But you do have some moving averages to look forward to, at least on the upside. The good news, at least on Tesla, is that we had a nice base breakout. Looking at it, you could see kind of just stuck within that range, finally broke above, and now we got this 100-day moving average to target right around 828. So great price action on Tesla. Again, if you are a shareholder of Tesla, well done. If you're a call holder of Tesla, well done. Let's take a look here on SPY. I do have SPY calls. Kind of the same deal as ES. Again, kind of finding that trend still above here. If we go ahead and take a look at the daily, let's see, the weekly, the 4-hour will give us a little more color. And you can see here, again, kind of that double top, broke above that, kind of retested a couple times, and then we bounced above. It's still not yet at 400. Remember, SPX spot, that's the level we're looking for. The gap right here is right around 40.14. I do expect us to get there. Once we get there, 40.30 is the level we're watching. If that does hold up, excuse me, let me go ahead and bring up the daily. A lot easier. Well, that's the gap fill here, right around 40.14. If you're looking at the 4-hour chart, you do have the 200-day right around 40.29. So right around 40.17 to 40.30, I'm just going to start looking for positions to short, and I'll keep my stop right around 40.86. Again, if we continue higher, great. I'll celebrate with everybody, but I think that we're going to possibly get at least a retest of the actual breakout on, this is on SPX, right around here, around 3,900, let's say. If we bring up S&P futures, which trades 24 hours a day or 23 hours a day, it's right here at 3,900. So I expect this to get a little higher, maybe around here, 40.17, 40.16, get us back down, possibly retest here at 3,900. If not, at the top range, the bottom range of this upward trend of around 39.50. So maybe we can catch maybe 50, probably at the best case scenario, catch 100. We can bounce off there and see if we can continue higher, depending on the news flow, depending on the Fed, which is next week, and some more earnings moving forward. Snapchat did report earnings today. It did miss. You could see big candle down. Meta down as well. And you can add Pinterest to that list as well, down. Remember, this was all this hedge fund buying, that big hedge fund that bought a position in Pinterest. Obviously, he's still up on the trade, but again, you could see up and then down. We've seen this before. Twitter, same thing. Again, they're all in the same space. This is what happens when you have, kind of sector-based moves in the market. Let's go and answer some questions. Belligerent asks, good afternoon, Carlos. What do you think of Cboe on the daily and weekly charts? Thank you. Let's take a look at it. We'll bring up the daily first. Yeah, starting to get kind of close to a possible breakout here. Again, you can possibly go 124.45. I wouldn't want to trade options on it, but again, once you break 124.45, you can start talking about 130 in the middle part of this range here. Again, upper part here breaking out kind of your range here. You had a little bit of a bunching price action here on the daily down below. You could also come back down here and have an inverse head and shoulders. So again, it looks pretty good long term, at least to 130. In terms of the weekly, kind of the same deal. Again, break above 125.31, my man. You'll get to 130. After that, well, remains to be seen. Hey, Carlos, thoughts on THC reported after the bell today and is up 9%. Let's take a look at THC. This is TETNet. I did see that on Bloomberg. I just didn't know much about them. Let's go ahead and bring this up on the hourly. Nice pop to 64. We'll bring up the daily to give us a look. Above the 50, filled this gap here if this holds. So again, that's the first marker. Next will probably be 65 and probably just hold around here. So I probably wouldn't want to buy here just on technical basis. We may just retest here back to around 60. Maybe if it holds, then it'd probably be a good level to buy. But I would not rush out and buy it on this pop on earnings tomorrow. Personally, I just wouldn't. Now, again, you could have said the same thing about Tesla, which had a decent quarter. But again, that guidance was great. And you could see here on the daily, again, you could say that, oh, the earnings wasn't the best, adjusted EPS, they sold Bitcoin. Well, the buyers came in hot. Looks like a massive short squeeze all the way to 827.36. Do you still think SPY will reject that 400 level? I do. I still think it does. But again, the momentum is there, guys. I mean, the VIX and the dollar coming down, it's going to be a tough one, a tough sell. But again, you buy insurance, when no one wants it. Again, that could definitely happen. Again, pure technicals. And the fundamental analysis is really that nothing has changed. I mean, again, short-term bottom. We know that July is seasonally strong for the stock market. So again, I'm not convinced that the worst is over yet. I hope I'm wrong. But again, 400 to me, right around 400 is the level that I'm looking to short. Maybe you can get as high as 402 for a stop loss. And the only reason I say that is because the upward momentum and the trend, starting to get to overbought levels here. We can start taking a look at SPY on the, we can take a look at the RSI if you guys want. And again, yeah, guys, look at the RSI on the 4-hour, overbought. Again, doesn't mean we can't stay overbought or stay, oversold. On the hourly, you got a 9 points away from overbought. And if you get to the daily, you have a little more room. So again, really depends on the perspective you're looking at. On the 4-hour, we're starting to get to that point of overbought. Doesn't mean we can't go higher. But again, look at the moves that we've had just recently in the past week or so. Went from 382 to 397. That's almost a $20 move in the market, and that doesn't happen usual. So just as fast as we have dumps $20 down, we have rises as quick as to the high level too. Is the VIX level way too low? It just implies to me, Austin, that you have kind of a short squeeze, kind of a quiet July. The volumes are not exactly high, guys. Again, you're not seeing super high buying panic. A lot of it seems to be just, short squeezing too. So again, the news flow isn't the best. It just seems that it's just seasonality coming into play. We have low bars when it comes to earnings, and even that low bar wasn't good enough for Snap, unfortunately. So with that being said, again, I'm just not convinced yet. Again, I'm bullish long term. I think we're going to get out of this. But in terms of, the bottom is in, I just don't see it as of yet. I still think we get another shot to the downside. And if we do, we'll be ready. And we'll be ready to short if that's the case. So, again, it's day by day in the market, guys. That's really all it is. For all we know, we could reject today, get back to 39.50. You could see this kind of a megaphone formation, if you will. Again, 4,003 at the top could be it. And then we get back to 39.40. If not, I think overnight we'll probably fill the gap on ES, open up nice, and then possibly reject on a Friday. Thoughts on the housing market? Saw again in terms of interest rates. Redfin reported some numbers on that. Again, the Fed is getting what it wants. It wants prices to fall. And how do you do that? You kill demand, or at least, fill the demand needed. Because obviously we have the supply chain issues, of course, slowing down housing. But again, when you have rates jump up this quickly, due to the Fed, this is what happens. You're going to have housing slow down. I don't know if housing prices will fall in a nationwide clip. Seems to be just regional, mostly Texas, the ones that got the big influx of people leaving California, New York, Texas, Florida. They may see a little bit of a decline, but a nationwide clip, I don't think so. Again, I think interest rates come back down anyways. So you want to call it a blip, call it a blip, but we'll see. Again, that's why we watch the 10-year Treasury note. Exactly. SPY volume is really low compared to the movements. Yeah, again, you're getting just a melt up, guys. Not exactly the best volume in the world. We can compare it across the board. Let's go to the daily. And, nothing special. I mean, the big drop that we had at 36.39 back in June 13th was the largest volume spike that we had since January. So, again, if we're going just by year to date, we're pretty low on the low side. I mean, we're back to mid-April levels, where April was pretty quiet, maybe the spring season. But July, again, seasonally speaking, July is relatively strong. Let's see what August brings. That usually is pretty weak. Really rides on the CPI number next month. We have a GDP number next week. That could confirm that we're in a recession too. It's 2 consecutive quarters. We have the FOMC tomorrow. Next week. So a lot of moving parts, and we're here to, analyze each part of it. And the news never stops. The analysis never stops. So we just keep going forever and ever. We'll go and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Cheers.